Hello, everyone. This is Kim K giving you some personnel time today. I know it's been a minute, probably about 4 weeks since the last time I've streamed. So, welcome back to the channel. I do apologize. It has been plenty going on in the last 4 weeks and plenty that I'm excited about. But I wanted to take the time to come to you today and just give you a little bit of personnel time, catch up with you, tell you what I've been up to. Excuse the dress. I'm in casual this month or today. It's really, really cold here in Texas. It's probably about 28 degrees outside right now. And it has been sitting below 30 degrees for the past probably 3, 4 days. So we have been iced in. The ice is really thick on the ground. It's starting to melt a little bit, but it's supposed to freeze over again tonight. So probably will be in again tomorrow, depending on how quickly the ice thaws in the morning. So I just wanted to check in with you. Yesterday, we were iced in here in Texas. Funny, my neighbor, he was stuck downtown. He had to work on Monday and ended up getting stuck because that's how much ice was on the ground and snow was coming down. And so it's probably easier to drive in snow, but driving on ice, it's like literally driving or walking on an ice skating rink in regular shoes, if you have on boots or something like that. But funny story, his dog was in the house and his dog hadn't eaten since Monday. So yesterday we went on a little doggy rescue mission to get the dog some food. And so I went into his house through the garage and I opened the back door to get to the food. And the dog just looked at me and I looked at him and he started growling and I started walking backwards and I just left. But luckily, another one of my neighbors, they have a dog. So she gave me a tray of food and we did a human chain because our driveways are sit on a hill, and so trying to walk up the driveway with all the ice on the ground was a task in itself. And we did a human chain. We got up the driveway and was able to put some food out for the dog in the backyard. My neighbor has a little doggy door that the dog can get in and out of. I think he was just scared. That's why he was growling at me. But got the food. Hopefully he ate it. And so that's our funny story on the ice because we all fell. It was me and two of my other neighbors, and I fell and he fell and we're sliding up and down the hill, but we made it to the backyard to get the dog some food. But I just wanted to check in with you all. I've been up to a lot. As you can see in the background, I have started working on kind of revamping my office space to look more like a studio. So I've started my do-it-yourself project, my DIY project that I've started maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this particular material here that you see in the back, where is it? Here. It's PVC tile that I ordered off Amazon, and I saw the photos online and I really liked it. So I said, okay, let me try it. Had to find the right type of tape or glue to use to stick the tiles on the wall. Finally found the right tape that I can use that won't damage my paint as much. Of course, the paint's going to come off if I ever take this off, but found this on Amazon, really good price. I love the texture. I love the white. My walls are a light gray in my house, and so adding this white accent wall, I think will add a little bit of a nice touch to the office / studio space. Also, I added some LED lights here, some lights here. You probably can't see them right now, but I have the wall kind of lined with LED lights, and so it gives me a little extra light. I started watching TLA, the lead attorney, shout out to the lead attorney, his mastermind class or his YouTube course. And he talked about how to make your space look more presentable when you're streaming online. So that's what I wanted to do. So that's what I've been working on. And I was thinking like, oh, I don't want to go live again until I get all my camera equipment right, until I get my, office / studio space how I want it to look. But I said, you know what, forget it. Just log on, at least check in with the people. So here's my check-in. Found me some other lighting. Hopefully this makes the camera look better. I'm still looking at different cameras to use. What I have right now is good quality, but it definitely could be better. So, especially for streaming. And so, one of the cameras TLA, the lead attorney, recommended was the Sony camera, which is a little pricey. And I don't know if I'm ready to spend that kind of money yet, but I may have to go ahead and bite the bullet. I'm always looking for a better deal. So, I'm going to still look a little bit more before I, pull the trigger on that camera. Um, just been traveling as well. The holidays passed a few weeks ago. Came back to Texas, but then had to go back out of town for a wedding, which was beautiful. Went back to California for a wedding, and that was nice. So, in addition to being an HR professional, I'm also a realtor. And so I was thinking about starting a channel just focusing on real estate, but I may do that later. I really enjoy human resources and the ins and outs of human resources and how to deal with employees and helping small businesses who may not have a full-on HR department. I enjoy helping them, with their situations as it relates to employees. So I really want to build this channel up first, and then I may branch into the real estate. I'm a big proponent of always having at least two streams of income just in case, because you never know what these companies are going to do. Companies are downsizing right now in the tech field. I know they've had some layoffs. Here in Texas, though, we're always opening new businesses and businesses are relocating here. So our market, our employment market, job market is really good right now here in Texas. A lot of opportunity. And if you're thinking about moving to Texas, definitely give me a call so I can help you find your next home or your first home if you're a first time home buyer. But back to the HR thing. For the HR business, I started in HR about 13 years ago as an administrative assistant, and I really liked helping people through just different situations employees had when they were dealing with employers and their bosses. And a lot of times it was a lot of miscommunication, and I liked being that bridge between the employer and the supervisor. So I kind of stuck in HR. Eventually, now I'm a director. I oversee a department in HR, employee relations, and we deal with the not so fun stuff, the grievances, the complaints, things like that, investigations, disciplinary action for employees. We also, assist with drafting employee handbooks and employee policies and things like that, company policies. And so I really enjoy the work, and which is why I wanted to start this channel, because I do know a lot of small businesses do not have full-on HR departments. They may have one HR person who's more of a generalist who focuses on probably more so the hiring process and the recruitment process and staffing and those things as it relates to human resources, the onboarding process. But from my perspective, the employee relations side is just as important, because when you have issues in the culture of an organization, you want to definitely work to try and fix those cultural issues so that you can retain employees. And that's pretty much my focus. That's what I like to do. That's how I train supervisors when I do performance management training for supervisors. I always tell them that people have to want to work for you. And if they don't want to work for you, they will leave. Salary is not the main reason that people leave jobs. They leave jobs because they don't like who they work with or who they work for. And so I stress that a lot. I tell small businesses that I work with that a lot, so that they're can do things to retain their employees. From my perspective, I am an employee. I like to tell and give information from an employee perspective, because I've been an administrative assistant. Like I said, I started as an administrative assistant, and then now I'm a director over a department, and I have people who report to me and who I manage. And so I've seen it from both perspectives, and I feel like I have a wealth of knowledge to give you all, both from an employee perspective and a manager perspective, and being in higher leadership. I can definitely provide some tips for small businesses on how to maintain a good culture in your company so that people want to work for you and want to stay with the company and help build with you and grow with you. It's always good when you can find employees who are loyal to the company, because they're willing to work harder for you when they feel like you care and that you really value them. So that is my angle on this channel. We'll talk about hot topics in the media as it relates to employees and employers. I did a short clip on Udoka when he had his situation with the Boston Celtics, and his suspension for having an inappropriate relationship. So we talked about that from an HR perspective, and a couple of other high profile cases that had to do with employee matters. And so I kind of give you that HR perspective of what an HR professional is thinking and how we deal with situations. I do I can do the staffing stuff and talk to people about how to staff, and I've done resume writing. It's not really, I can do it, I know how to do it, I can do it well, but it's not really the thing that I enjoy doing. I've seen thousands of resumes. I've seen and worked in and helped develop applicant tracking systems, so I know how to draft a resume to attract the attention, or have the applicant tracking system pick up your resume for a specific job. I've looked at thousands of job descriptions and helped write them and written them. But like I said, that's not really where my heart is. I really enjoy employee relations because I help bridge gaps between employees and employers. I try to help organizations build a culture, and a culture that people want to work in and work for. So that's the perspective of this channel. I did an introductory video when I first started the channel, but I felt like, I was like, oh, Kim, you're a little stiff. You look a little uptight. I'm like, let's just, shake it out, be you, and just talk straight from the heart about why you started this channel. And so I wanted to kind of get a do-over. I'm very casual today. Like I said, please excuse me. I usually have on something a little more professional, but it is cold. And also, I've been working in my office on this wall, my little backsplash here, my DIY project. So that's why I'm really casual today. But I did put a little lip gloss on for you guys. So, but like I said, I just definitely want to come and speak to you all and kind of talk to you all about what I do, why I do it. And that's it. We've been locked down here in Texas for the last few days. Only essential workers have gone out. People who didn't have to go out really didn't go out. And since COVID, I think a lot of companies have realized that people can work from home, and which is a good thing, because in situations like this, you could still get the work done, probably get more work done when you're working virtually, because you don't have the constant interruptions of customers coming in and employees coming in to talk to you and things like that. So you kind of get some downtime to work on some things you may have been trying to work on for a while now. But companies have realized that, they take advantage of this hybrid situation, and they know you can work from home now, so they expect you to work from home, which is a gift and a curse, because sometimes some employers now expect you to work from home, 24 hours a day, and that's just not feasible. Definitely want to encourage companies to have a work-life balance. This is very important for employee retention. Having that work-life balance. You always want to, make sure, yes, if employees can work from home, absolutely. And most employees don't have a problem working from home. But in situations like this, especially the situation that we're in now here in North Texas, North Dallas, it is ice on the ground. And so, I want to encourage employers and supervisors to be mindful of that. Employees want to feel like you care, and they want to feel like everything is not about the bottom line. And I know you have to make money, to keep the organization going, but at the same time, you want to have that balance of having that employee, or that heart for your employees, and making, employees want to feel like you care about their safety. They want to feel like you care about their well-being, and just keep that in mind when you're making decisions that will affect employees. A lot of places are making decisions today about whether they're going to have workers come in to the office or not, because it's still icy on the roads. I think it's still drizzling where I am right now. And the temperatures are going to drop back down to freezing tonight, or if they aren't already. I think we're already down. Let me see. What's the temperature right now outside? It is a whopping 34 degrees, and it's supposed to get down to 28. And there are flurries forecasted within the next hour. And so like I said, just encourage employees to be mindful of that, be mindful of your um, employee safety and well-being as you're making decisions on whether you are going to have employees report to the office tomorrow or not. That's just my 2 cents for today about, your little tidbit for employee retention and trying to keep employees with you. Moving forward, I think over the next couple weeks, I'm gonna and I don't know how to do this on YouTube. I have to YouTube it and figure out if I can do this. But I found an attorney, and he kind of talks about he's an employment law attorney, and so I started watching some of his videos. His name is Brannigan Robertson, and he's out of California. Shout out to California, because that's where I'm from. I am from California, just live in Texas now. But he's an employment lawyer in California, and as you all know, California and probably New York have the trickiest employment laws. They are very, very employee friendly in California, and in probably New York probably has the more complex employment laws. So interested to look at his channel and get his perspective. I watched a couple videos, and some of the things I didn't agree with. He had some not so nice things to say about HR professionals. Of course, there is a school of thought that HR is just there to protect the company, which, you can make the argument that that is true for some companies, but there are some HR professionals, such as myself, who genuinely want to bridge the gap between employees and employers, want to create an overall culture in the organization that is that shows employees that you care, that shows the employer that employees care, and to have a cohesive working relationship between, managers, supervisor, organization, and employees, so that we can work cohesively towards the common mission and goal of the organization. And so, yes, there are HR departments and HR professionals who are strictly about protecting the company. Me personally, from my perspective, I've always been right is right and wrong is wrong. So if someone is doing something that's outside of policy, whether they be the custodian or the CEO or VP or whatever, me personally, I like to call it out. I like to call it fair, because that's how you create a culture. That's how you create a good reputation for your company, that attracts employees. There are certain companies that people just want to work for. One that I can think of in particular is Chick-fil-A. They have a really rigorous process for even allowing you to get into their organization as a franchisee. We had a gentleman who is a franchisee owner for Chick-fil-A come and speak to us, just to talk about customer service and, what their missions and goals are, and what their vision is for the company. And his process, did he say it was over the course of maybe 2 to 3 years? His process was really long. There's a lot of vetting because they have a particular standard that they want to hold their franchisee owners to, because they want to maintain that reputation of being, a premier organization to work for. And I think they've done that pretty well, just by their customer service. I've talked to employees who work there. Even some of the kids that work at the one up the street from my house, they're just always, so pleasant, and, they're just kind of not having a good time, but they're working and having a good time. And you can tell they really like working for the organization. Chick-fil-A pays pretty good, especially if you're a teenager working there. They pay pretty good. And they just have this standard that they require of their franchisee owners, even to buy a franchisee, even to buy a franchise, buy into a franchise in that organization. And so I think that if organizations take more of that approach, I think employees would probably be a little bit more loyal to them. But that's just my perspective, my 2 cents. Of course, there's always going to be obstacles when you're working with people. There's emotions involved and things like that. But there is a way to develop a culture in an organization so that people can work cohesively towards that common goal, at least in my perspective. And so I just did a training for a department in our organization, and we talked about how employees are willing to work if if they think you care. They want to know that you actually care about them and not just them performing the work that you need to do. And of course, that has to get done as well. But you spend most of your time with the people that you work with. You probably spend more time with the people that you work for and work with than you do your families. You're at work 8 hours a day. If you commute, you're on the road an hour there, an hour back, and probably on the phone with someone from work, on the way to work as you're going in and coming home. So, you spend a lot of time with these people, and at some point you do develop relationships, whether it be, it may not be a really deep relationship, but it is, some sort of relationship, whether it be a professional relationship. Some people become great friends who meet at work. Some people get married to people who they meet at work, things like that. And so I think just as people, it's important that we respect people, we show compassion towards people in general, especially those that you work with and you work for. And, that starts from the top down, showing that compassion from the top down, from the top leadership down. It does trickle down to the employees, and they can feel that, and they're willing to work harder for you if they can feel that genuine care for their well-being. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's why I'm here. That's why the channel is here. I really love working with small businesses, like I said, because I know they don't, and even some mid-sized businesses, they don't have a full HR department. And, now with things, the economy kind of going the way it is, usually HR is probably the first department to be cut, just because people think that that particular field is not valuable, but it really is valuable. It helps the HR department and the people who work in those departments. They do help bridge gaps between supervisors and employees. So I am excited about the channel. I'm going to try and stream, at least 3 days a week. That's the goal. Of course, I still work full time. I still have my real estate business full time, which is really picking up now. People are excited or getting scared about the interest rates, but not here in Texas, baby. Our economy is booming. So people aren't scared of the interest rates. They're starting to kind of balance out and kind of hold steady. And people are getting used to the new normal. It's just a matter of adjusting your numbers and adjusting your pocketbook to reflect what you can afford. It's not unusual. The rates aren't unusually high. We've had rates that were higher. Of course, the prices of homes were higher, or were lower. But it's I don't think we're not going to see those 2-3% rates for a long time, probably another 20-30 years, or the next time some kind of big event happens. Yeah, that's my side gig. Like I said, I work full time. I do consulting on the side, HR consulting. So have a lot going on, trying to grind it out right now, while I have the time, eventually, or not eventually, hopefully soon, be, trying to, get into the family mode and have kids and stuff like that. So, but while I have the time, I'm definitely going to grind it out and try and help you all build your businesses. your small businesses so that you can flourish and hire employees and keep employees that will grow with you and grow with your business. So that's the goal here. I hope you all enjoyed this stream. This is a short one. I just wanted to touch base and check in and say hello. So hello. And we're going to sign off today. I'm going to finish kind of working on this wall here, but make sure you subscribe to the channel. Personnel Time with Kim K. It is pronounced personnel. That's one of those play on words. Personnel, people, personnel, employees, personnel. You get it? So it's not personal time. I know some people say personal time, but that's different. Personal with me, my personal time, PERSONAL. This is personnel time, PERSONNEL. Two different words, two different meanings. But this is Personnel Time with Kim K. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoy the content, please support the channel. Subscribe, you all. Also, if you want to support, definitely take a look at the Cash App, PayPal. Definitely appreciate those. Appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate everyone who takes a look at the shorts. Because as you know, on YouTube, the watch hours are really important. So I appreciate you all watching this, and everyone have a great night.